How you doing here? Coach Kyle Brown, celebrity fitness nutrition coach, CEO of Fit 365 Shakes. Want to talk to you about how to break through the afternoon slump and that energy that just gets crushed. So I had a client call that I just finished up who was really struggling. You know, she wakes up in the morning and she's feeling like an absolute warrior, ready just to conquer her day like Wonder Woman. But by the end of the day, she said she's complaining. By about 3 o'clock, she's feeling like Sleeping Beauty. And we haven't really been able to really dig into setting up those afternoon rituals. We set up some really good, clean morning rituals where she's really focused on winning her day first, and she's got that awesome mantra going. So we dug into the afternoon, and I want to go over some of the stuff that we went over that can really help you out. So it's something that's really normal. So if you're struggling and in the early afternoon you're noticing that your energy levels are really low and you're really struggling and you aren't sure why, there's a lot of things you can do, and you're not alone. So the stats show that 1 in 3, 30% of Americans struggle with that afternoon crash. Mind-blowing, right? 30%, that's 40 plus million people. So here's kind of some of the stuff that you want to do. You want to take a look at short-term quick fixes, like I'm tired right now, how can I get that energy up without just taking in a bunch of caffeine, versus the long-term lifestyle habits. So let's dig in first to what can I do to get my energy up right now. Now, this advice is free, and what you're going to do is free, which in turn means in general when someone is given something for free, they don't value it much. So the most important thing that you can possibly do when you're feeling any kind of exhaustion that early afternoon, chug water. Drink water like it's going out of style. Let me be clear. Here's some facts. By the time you're feeling thirsty, you've already lost 2 to 3% of your body's water. And what that does is that lowers your blood volume, which means you're not getting as much blood to your brain, and your heart is pumping a lot harder to try to move everything through, which just strains your body and makes you feel exhausted. There's a huge change in your energy levels because of that. What else can you do besides drink a lot of water to bump up those energy levels right now? Well, another thing that you can do, try alternate nostril breathing. So you're sitting there, you know, what is our main fuel source? I was climbing up Torrey Pines this morning and the air was about 10% humidity. In the same hike that I do almost every day, I was struggling this morning because it was so hot and dry. Felt like being out in the desert. Felt like I was at about 3,000, 5,000 feet when I'm only at about 450 feet. Huge difference, and it was because of the oxygen intake was very different. So try getting in a lot more air. There's a lot of different breathing techniques that you can do. Alternate nostril breathing I really like because it makes sure you're getting in air on one side, you close off that side, you switch, and then you get the air out that side, bring it back up here, and then back out here just by switching which side you're breathing in through. Now, if you don't want to look too weird sitting at your desk doing this, I promise you this much, you look a lot weirder sitting at your desk with really low energy like this, all lethargic. And then you can go sit at home because you'll probably get laid off because you're not productive. Another thing that you can do besides alternate nostril breathing, as you know, I'm a huge fan of napping. I want to go protest in the schools, not for any type of thing that's being protested now. I want to protest the elimination of naps. I don't understand why they eliminated them. Napping is phenomenal. A lot of the more forward-thinking companies actually have nap rooms that you can go into to clear your head, maybe meditate, and get yourself rocking and rolling. I've eliminated almost all of my naps personally by adding in 20 minutes twice a day of transcendental meditation. It's worked wonders. Your fuel source. So a lot of times when somebody's getting tired, they load up on caffeine, so they get this wired on the outside but exhausted underneath. They haven't fixed the problem. Or they'll take in some sort of sugar, so they'll get a quick little burst and they'll get that roller coaster energy. So that's a little bit more moving us into those long-term fixes. A great long-term fix to get rid of that afternoon energy lull is make sure you're fueled by dietary fat. Don't fuel your body with carbohydrates as your main fuel source. That's roller coaster energy versus good, solid, sustained energy when you're burning dietary fat as your fuel source. And that's been my primary fuel source since I was 21 years old, about to turn 40. So nothing new. I've been dialing it in forever, and it is definitely the best fat source. Probably the best thing you can do in the early afternoon, if you're like, okay, Kyle, what's the one thing that I can do in the early afternoon every single day to keep my energy awesome? Shameless plug here, drink a Fit 365 shake. Seriously, the stuff that's in there is mind-blowing for good quality energy, sustained energy, quality immune system function, getting your body feeling amazing. When my people start adding in Fit 365 shakes in the early afternoon for good quality energy, keep them going, incredible. Now, there is nothing wrong with a little bit of caffeine in that early afternoon, depending on how your body reacts to caffeine. They find actually that people who are ADD or any kind of attention issues, they tend to not be affected by caffeine. It actually has more of a calming effect. So I can drink caffeine and go take a nap right away. I don't have those types of responses where I'm up all night with caffeine. So you'll notice there's a big difference there. And then some long-term lifestyle habits. Sleeping between the hours of 10 and 2 especially. Those are your 2 hours, two hands on the wheel. 10 and 2, that's the way you remember it. Those are the 4 most critical hours to get to sleep every single night. Caffeine, watching the intake. Alcohol obviously is going to destroy your sleep, which is what's going to make you crash by the early afternoon. And then before you go to bed, take some ZMA. Zinc magnesium combination. You're going to notice you sleep better, you dream deeper, and you raise your natural growth hormone levels. I hope this helps. Those things can make a world of difference. Enjoy.